Hey guys, Adam Katz for DogTrainerToolbox.com. Thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to share with you an old school, non-internet way of advertising your dog training business that works really, really well. And in fact, it's always worked really, really well. Going back to like the mid 90s when I started my first dog training business, this was the primary way that I was advertising, and it really worked great. So stick with me and we'll get into it. Now, before we do that, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Head on over to dogtrainertoolbox.com if you need a consistent stream of desperate dog owners calling you each and every day, each and every week, each and every month, people who are actively looking for what it is that you have to sell. Check out our Google Ads management service. It's a 100% done for you solution. In addition, you don't want to just be sending qualified leads, basically people that have money in hand and they're ready to hire you. You don't want to be sending that traffic to a website that looks like it was designed by a 9-year-old with finger paint. So I've also got you covered on that front too. You can learn more about our done for you dog training business website. It uses tested copy. Copy is the persuasive text, and a tested design that converts like gangbusters. If you'd like to learn more, check out dogtrainertoolbox.com. So I was in Central Coast, California last week taking care of my mom who had a knee surgery. And finally, we got a home health care person in the house helping take care of her. And I got the opportunity to duck out of the house and go for some El Pollo Loco. And as I walk in there, as I'm walking in, I look to my left and there's a stack of these. This is a weekly local newspaper. Kind of open it up for you to see. There's all kinds of advertising inside. And it reminded me back in the mid 90s when I was running my first of what would be later 3 dog training businesses. And this type of paper, which you can find outside of fast food restaurants, you can find them in brew pubs and bars, they hand them out free. It was a really great way to advertise my dog training business. Now, I'm going to show you some of the ads that I was running. These, by today's standards, are not great ads. This was, I don't know, 27, 28 years ago. I've learned a lot. I read marketing and advertising books for fun. I'm just kind of a advertising geek, I guess. And I've learned over the past, 2.5, 3 decades, a lot about writing good copy. This is not necessarily good copy, but it did have some elements. And one of the things that you'll notice worked the best were the ads that had a picture in them, or the smaller one with a clip art actually worked pretty well also. I would do a few things differently. I would have a benefit-oriented headline and subheadline. I'd have a stronger call to action. I would, if I had the room, I'd have list benefits and features rather than just features. And we've learned a lot over the years. But even so, these worked really well. Now, there's a couple of tips that I put these ads up on the screen if I haven't already. There's a couple of tips you want to know is that generally the ad rep is going to suggest, number one, to let their people design your ad. Now, you can let them design the ad, but don't let them write your ad. If they knew how to write ads, they would not be working at some crappy little newspaper. So you need to either learn how to write ads yourself, and I recommend the Copywriting Books for Beginners, Cashvertising by Drew Eric Whitman, and Copywriting Secrets by, I can't remember his name. I'll put it up on the screen. Good starter books that teach you how to write good copy. Copy is the persuasive text. Copy is salesmanship in print. But here's the secret to this. The ad rep is going to want you to commit to at least 8 weeks, an 8-week run. And that's a good thing, because what happens with this type of advertising, it's different for online advertising, but for this type of advertising and these types of newspapers, the people who read these newspapers typically read them every week. They engage in their normal routines. They go out to the local brew pub or bar. They sit at the bar or at their table and they flip through while they're eating a basket of buffalo wings or whatever they happen to be eating. And they're going to see your ad again and again and again. And then they're going to go home and they're going to have a dog issue, maybe next week, maybe the week after that. And they're going to remember that guy who advertised in this paper. And they're going to go back to that paper next week and they're going to call you. So it takes a little bit of while to get momentum, but once you get that momentum going, I mean, it was crazy. My first ad, it was a picture of me and a German Shepherd I had named Buck, and I put under it owner of South Bay Canine Academy, Adam G. Katz, with Buck the Wonder Dog. And I would literally take the dog out for a walk down in Redondo Beach, and shop owners like barbers and hairstylists and just general people walking around would walk up to me and go, "Hey, that's Buck the Wonder Dog," as if they were spotting a celebrity. So, guys, this stuff, it really, really works really well, but you have to commit to a longer ad spend run. Now, another tip. Let me get into what can be called the pet page in this type of newspaper. So what happened after I'd been running the ads for a few months was that the salesperson who, was responsible for selling ads for the local newspaper, she started approaching other pet related businesses like groomers and veterinarians and dog daycares, and and they started advertising too. And so what they did, and she approached me about this. She said, "Would it be okay if we put your ad? We're going to do like a pet page, like an entire page of the newspaper, just about pet stuff." And the way that it broke down was that they would have an article, and then wrapped around the article would be the various ads of the advertisers, myself and the other people that she got. I said absolutely, and that became a real hit. What would happen is a lot of people would just pick up the newspaper just to go to the pet page because they wanted to see the ads and to read the article. And occasionally, I would give them articles, right? That meant like I got basically free advertising. Like a big part of that pet page was an article written by me, and of course, it had my byline, and at the end, a little blurb that said, Adam Katz is the owner of South Bay Canine Academy. Contact him for dog training and blah blah blah, whatever it was. So it just created more goodwill in the community, and it raised awareness, and most importantly, it really got the phone ringing. Now, sometimes just taking action will garner momentum, and it really did in this case. So, because I've been a regular advertiser, what happens with these newspapers is they typically, because they open like a book, and so they have to buy a certain number of pages, like in 4-digit increments. So, if it's a 16-page newspaper, a 32-page newspaper, 64-page newspaper, whatever it is. And so a lot of times they end up having more pages to fill than they know what to do with. So they start doing like meet the people local profiles. And so that happened. They did one on me, which was, again, just free exposure. And then they'd also run these ads to kind of advertise to other advertisers in the newspaper to get them to think about advertising. And so they would feature one of their regular advertisers, and I'll put one up on the screen here. You can see, and again, free advertising. So anything kind of pet related that would come up, I was their guy. Guys, these still work. You can pick one up in pretty much any town in America, and you'll see people advertising week over week, month over month, because they work. If they didn't work, these newspapers would be out of business. So let me give you one parting tip. You're going to have to test your ads, especially if you're not an amazing copywriter. Again, copywriting is the art of writing persuasive text that gets people to reach into their wallet and take out money. And so you're going to want to A/B test your ad. So maybe run one ad for 4 weeks, maybe run another ad for the next 4 weeks. And what you want to do is use a company like calltrackingmetrics.com or callrail.com. And for very inexpensively, 10 to 15 bucks a month, you can get a tracking phone number. And then you run that in the ad rather than putting your direct phone number. And what happens is the people will call the tracking number, and then it seamlessly patches them through to your house number, your cell phone number, your business number, whatever number you want, right? And then it'll also send you an email with the caller ID information and what time they called, and you'll be able to tell exactly what those newspaper ads are doing for you and how many leads they're generating week over week, month over month. Especially if you A/B test, you can even use a different number. Let's say you run one ad for 4 weeks, you run another ad for the next 4 weeks, and you use different phone numbers. Because what happens is sometimes people will cut out the ad, stick it on the refrigerator, and they won't call you for 6 or 8 weeks, right? So wouldn't it be cool to know which of the ads is actually converting better than the other? And then once you've done these A/B tests for a series of months, you'll be able to very easily identify which one is the winner, and then you just run that one, and you've got a killer ad. You could also take that ad and basically turn it into a postcard and do postcard mailings, but that's another video for another time. Hey, check out dogtrainertoolbox.com. If you need to grow your dog training business, if you need to get more leads, more desperate dog owners calling you each and every week, each and every month, you could turn it on, you could turn it off. Wouldn't it be amazing to have a way to not only grow your dog training business, but something that if you get too busy, you could turn it off. If you need more leads, you turn it back on. Again, check out dogtrainertoolbox.com to learn more.